Yeah, baby, welcome to the podcast. It is day 34, and we are talking about crypto. This is part two. If you didn't listen to part one and you don't know about crypto, go listen to part one. If you know about crypto already, then you're fine listening to this. You won't miss a thing. But I did title this one, Why Crypto is Like Viagra for White Men. And yeah, I went there. I really did, because there is something about what happens with crypto that gets people unnaturally excited. Particularly Bitcoin has attracted a unique mix of innovators, venture capitalists, and political figures, many of whom are wealthy white men. Not all of them, but them are not white and from other countries. I mean, they're not white and from other countries. That's probably a better way to say that. Some of them are white and from other countries. So we've got both. Figures like Peter Thiel and Elon Musk have turned crypto into a tool for political and financial gain, often skirting government oversight. These actors use cryptocurrency to their advantage and how it aligns with anti-democratic movements and the potential dangers for Americans as we head into a more deregulated future. You're going to need to screw on your what if Project 2025 cap, because if you're wearing your project, or let's call it Project 2025 glasses, because it's really going to affect your vision. If you're looking through those 2025 glasses, then you're going to see a world where there's less regulation. Things are getting rapidly privatized. We have anybody with a minority surname has already been deported, for crying out loud. We're now building houses on Native American land. It's madness, right? So keep your Project 2025 glasses on, because imagine just depravity and essentially raping and pillaging our country to the benefit of both business and the wealthy. That's kind of how it shapes up. They're going to make it nice for them, but the rest of us are just going to be out here living in some kind of dystopian wacky land. Maybe go watch the Hunger Games. I'm not sure. So what's happened so far is Trump has begun his journey into crypto. Does not surprise me, from the man who's learned how to launder money through watches, tennis shoes, Mar-a-Lago, the presidency. Doesn't surprise me. He's figured out a way to monetize this too. He launched, well, the boys did. We call them the boys, the sons, launched World Liberty Financial, WLF, and shifted the conversation around crypto into the political arena. He was previously skeptical of digital currencies, but he jumped to the crypto world with promises of financial freedom and independence from traditional banking systems. You know, the ones smacking him down, trying to get him to pay back his loans. Yeah, those guys. His plan for Trump crypto, WLF, echoes his familiar rhetoric that the system is rigged against the average American, casting himself as the people's champion by offering decentralized finance solutions. I cannot emphasize this enough. Crypto is not for us. If you're single, you got money, you got laying around, you like to experiment things, knock yourself out. But for most of us trying to just do this thing every day, it's not really for us. So him casting himself as the people's champion and offering me a decentralized finance solution is not anything I need. Not at all. It's something he needs, but it's not something I need. His pivot to crypto is more about enriching his inner circle than empowering everyday citizens. Oh, I kind of chopped off my own payoff line there. Yes, this is his full deal. Trump's move comes as pro-business, deregulation-focused policies are on the rise. What did I just say? Your 2025 classes, particularly under the banner of 2025. The potential implications are vast. Crypto could offer a way for Trump and others to funnel money through unregulated channels and avoid taxation and manipulate financial markets without consequence. Get it? He can do all these things because it's not audited. It's not visible. There's no trail and there's no transparency. Doesn't that sound like something bad again? Doesn't that sound like something very exciting for Trump? Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Look at that's why Eric's losing his mind over it. So next we enter into the discussion, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, powerful figures today who have mega millions, billionaires, and they're at the heart of the new movement. It's really important that you understand how well they understood digital money at PayPal. Like, you've got to get it. They sat there and they talked about it and they talked about it and they talked about it. And they already both had money. So this was not a barrier in their thinking. How to get it done, not their problem. what they wanted to have happen, that's what they could talk about. Thiel is a major backer of J.D. Vance and influential in the creation of Project 2025, and he has long supported Bitcoin. His venture capital firm, Founders Fund, what didn't wear himself out on those names, invested significantly in Bitcoin, and another product called Ether, and just before the market surged. For Thiel, cryptocurrency offered more than just financial gains, of course. It's a tool to challenge the government control of currency over a fundamental part of his libertarian ideology. So Thiel is basically an atheist, a libertarian. Get government out of my life. I can make my own decisions. I don't need government influence. And he's super wealthy, and he doesn't want to belong to anybody. He just doesn't want to belong to any system of accountability. It's kind of like for you. They do not want to participate in a system of accountability. They have lots of ideas. They're very empowered at 4. They can talk and talk back and fight with you and argue with you. They don't need no stinking rules, right? So there you go. This is what they wanted. They wanted someplace where they could just make up how they wanted it to look. Similarly, Musk, whose tweets have single-handedly swayed the prices of Bitcoin and Dogecoin, also seems like he's actually influencing the market, guys. That's so shady, but it's not regulated, so he can do whatever he wants to do, right? He sees crypto as a means of financial disruption. Tell me anything in Trump's life that doesn't have to do with disruption. He's disrupted his children. He's disrupted Tesla. He's disrupted Twitter. He's disrupted Starlink and everything else that he touches. This man is nothing if not a disruptor. And I don't think it's been for good. If you believe it's been for good, have fun. Go knock yourself out. I don't think it's been for good. His libertarian leanings align, Musk's leanings align with Thiel's, and together they're part of a growing movement of Silicon Valley oligarchs seeking to carve out unregulated spaces where traditional government controls don't apply. You need to understand how much money some of these rats have over the hill. My Silicon Valley's over the hill of my house. That's where I work. That's where my people are. There's so much money, and some of it does good, and some of it does this. So there you go. I always ask, before my mom died, how much money does someone need, Mom? How much power does someone need? What do they ever feel satisfied when they have that kind of giant hole in their character? I don't know. Crypto funds international terrorists, authoritarian. Oh, there's JD and Peter. Just for those of you watching, I just threw in a picture of JD and Peter because, babes. So here's the deal. Crypto funds international terrorists, authoritarians, and cyber criminals. For sure. The dark side loves the crypto. It can potentially undermine the effectiveness of sanctions. Sanctions. This is one of the most important tools of international diplomacy and political leverage. You have got to understand, we can't have sanctions if everybody's wealth is tied up in it, because then the money moves without any government knowing about it, right? Traditional sanctions work by cutting off access to the global financial system, making it difficult for sanctioned countries or humans to move money, engage in trade, or acquire resources. So this whole idea of sanction, you've been sanctioned, that's because you're an oligarch in Russia and you've been doing bad things with your money. You're also doing bad things to your people. We can punish you by locking up your money. But if you have crypto, we can't touch it. Are you starting to get it? How it's this kind of off-ramp for unregulated lack of accountability. That's what crypto is, just there. At least that's how the powerful are using it. It could have good value, but right now, the bad people are using it for bad things. And that's the part that's worrisome. And this really didn't gain this momentum until recently. That's the other thing. There's been a lot of criminality with crypto, but that's been over the cybersecurity world. And so it kind of made sense over there. Like, oh, okay, just more bad crap happening on the dark web. But now we're talking about real people with real power who can make big differences and have zero financial accountability. Cryptocurrencies bypass traditional financial networks. If that's not perfectly clear to you, it should be clear to you. It allows these actors to conduct transactions without using banks or any regulation or any oversight. So this undermines the ability of the US and allies to enforce sanctions. It allows for illicit transactions to cross borders without leaving a trail. For example, Russia's explored using crypto to evade sanctions after the invasion of Ukraine, and Iran has been known to use crypto to avoid economic restrictions. So there you go. There's your players right now who you would expect, but this is on a political stage, guys. This is on cybercrime stage. This is a political stage. They are actually saying the way to manage our politics is to use crypto because then we can't be held accountable. If cryptocurrencies become widely adopted by adversarial states, our political power in the US, our political power is diminished. Let me say that sentence again, because it's a big deal. If cryptocurrencies become widely adopted by adversarial states, nation states, our power is diminished. Sanctions rely on the dominance of the US dollar and control over global financial systems. So the reason sanctions work is that we have a strong dollar and we have a global financial system. Without those things in place, it's called SWIFT. I think I've heard this, the SWIFT banking system before. When it gives the US unparalleled influence over international transactions when we're using the SWIFT banking system and we are able to have audit trails. So it's really critical for our democracy that we have transparency. But I've already said that transparency is essential for a democracy. However, if sanctioned actors can freely use crypto, they can operate outside the system. I think that I've made that perfectly clear. They can do whatever they want. There's no accountability, and it weakens the effectiveness of everybody, of all the sanctions, and emboldens countries like Russia's or North Korea and Iran. So do you get it? Like if we can't hold them accountable, it's really weird. I remember when I was working in, my mentor was really great. She goes, we're going to talk about influencing your peers. And I thought, it's so weird, influencing my peers. Like they don't report to me and I don't set their MBOs or anything. I'm going to influence my peers. And she goes, yeah, it's one of the most important skills you could learn. And she taught me. She taught me how to influence my peers because your ability to get people in other departments who don't work for you to go along with your plan is a big deal. And so if we can't work with our other countries to leverage and to work with our peers, because there's an erosion of our markets, we lose our geopolitical power. In fact, it undermines NATO faster than Trump. Let's just figure it out. If money goes off the rails and we don't know where all the money's gone because it's sitting in crypto somewhere, we got real problems. Even our NATO allies will have the same problems. This is going to be a Western banking problem. So what could be, like that's a pretty diabolical view of the world. And I'm fairly cynical, Jen. But what could be the master plan? It could be twofold. It could be one to create a parallel financial system free from government regulation and use it to consolidate power. That goes with Project 25 proposing to strip down federal oversight of financial markets and regulatory bodies. Crypto could become the primary currency for the technocrats. And the lack of oversight would allow them to move money globally, fund political campaigns, manipulate markets without interference. Just the $100,000 watch is such a good example. And Trump said he'd take crypto for that. If you're selling a watch for $100,000, you take it on crypto. Ostensibly, it's $100,000 worth of crypto. But we know crypto's price goes up. But moreover, you don't have to know where the money came from, right? Once somebody's paying Donald Trump in crypto, we don't know who's paying Donald Trump in crypto. It could literally be bad guys. Like not just the corporate bad guys that we're used to. It could be very bad guys. Authoritarians from other countries. It could be criminals. There's a lot of bad things that can happen. So that seems to be one way to go. If oversight is not allowed and we can move money globally and they can contribute to political campaigns and they can manipulate markets, the goal isn't to create wealth at that point. The goal is power. And that's the biggest shift here you're seeing with crypto is it takes the money and it just strips all the obligation out of it and it gives you 100% power. For Thiel, who's long believed in a libertarian utopia, what's he taking? I need some of that. Mushrooms are amazing. I think these are a magical thing for Mr. Thiel. I'm totally making that up out of my butt. I have no knowledge that Mr. Thiel uses mushrooms, even though that's libertarian vegetable. I'm just kidding. Okay, stop, Jen. For Thiel, who's long believed in libertarian utopia, it's more about wealth than it is about the survival of the fittest. It's about more than wealth. Sorry, it's about survival of the fittest. That's like a thing with these guys. That's part of the let me go back for those of you watching. Let me just go back and show you how fit these little men look. Look at Peter Thiel and Elon Musk as babies. This is 20 years ago at PayPal. Don't they look like survival of the fittest? Doesn't that look like that's who Darwin thought should be winning? Well, I don't know, but they got a lot of money. Cryptocurrency allows actors to function outside the traditional financial systems. And he wants to do this without being held accountable. So what does that really mean for us? So we're back to America. And on the video, I've got a picture of the Taj Mahal because here's the deal. Trump's not good with money. He's somehow good at getting people to give him money. That mass respect. I cannot believe how well that man manages people to give him money. But then if you're in a cult members give up all their stuff to their cult leader. So that's one way I know I'm not in a cult. I don't give away my stuff. I don't give away my money to people, donations and contributions, but I'm pretty clear about what's mine and I'm keeping mine. I work too hard for it. The problem is in the hands of the oligarchs like Thiel and Musk, if we're looking at how it could affect Americans, cryptocurrency could really deepen inequality, even though it's heralded as a democratizing force. The democratizing part means everybody could have access to it because there's no rule and it's digital, right? It's like right there, you can have a crypto. The problem is you can't even play in that market. You're going to be priced out at the beginning. You're going to be out sophisticated out pretty fast because this is definitely a game. If you don't understand blockchain, I don't know why you play. That's just me. I have to know how things are secured and I have to understand how the security works. But I'm a little bit paranoid because I look at cybersecurity. This deregulation that Project 2025 wants is meant to sidestep financial rules that typically protect consumers. Again, put on your 2025 glasses, right? Really gonna go get some somewhere. There's gonna be some. We'll have some at New Year's, but right now I just really want those Project 2025 glasses because when you look through those and realize what the whole deal is of these rich white men, and this is why I said it's Viagra, baby, is that they move us all to this, hey, you don't get to know what I do. You don't get to know where I spend my money. You don't get to have a say in how this works. I know what's best for you. I'm going to protect you. Don't worry. And I'm going to go over here and do everything I can to take care of me and my rich friends. You'll figure it out. I don't have a plan for you, but you'll figure it out. And if you look at any of the work I've done on policy, they don't have a plan for us. We're going to have to figure it out. They have a plan for them. And JD last night showed us how confident he is in that plan. That man did not even flinch when he said he couldn't tell you if Trump won or lost the last election. That's the confidence he has in this crypto plan, in this taking over the world plan, in this autocracy they want to create here in the United States as soon as they get rid of all of us nasty voters and those of us with the woke minds, those of us with the different last names, those of us without the white skin. As soon as they get rid of all that, we can just take care of ourselves. In the worst case scenario, the unchecked rise of crypto could destabilize the global economy. With figures like Thiel and Musk calling the shots, governments, and it's not just Thiel and Musk. I need you to know, I talk about them because they're ours. We've got oligarchs, we've got Putin, we have other powerful people who are playing in this club. They may not be as vocal as these two asshats, but believe me, they're in the club and it's an exclusive club. Go look at the news on that Opus Dei stuff. That was its own other little club. They're probably share members, but that's just, there's crazy manipulation of all of this, all of us humans going on. And it really does have kind of a Hunger Games feel to it. It's that kind of power. With figures like Thiel and Musk calling the shots, governments are going to struggle to rein in their influence, leading to a world where wealth and power are more concentrated than ever. We already have that problem in abundance. For the average citizen, this could mean fewer protections, higher risks of fraud, and a financial system where the rich get richer while everyone else is left behind. So the reason I threw the Taj Mahal up there on my slide is that I thought, here's the deal. We get to choose. It's very stark. This is not a hard decision in this election unless you're a complete idiot. Because you can choose democracy or you can choose billionaire control. But if you're following Trump around and you're doing his bidding and you're obedient, I think that's the biggest thing. If you have Trump obedience, you are an obedient Trumper. Work on the alliteration there. I'm sure there's something there. please text me your ideas. If you're signed up in that regard and you are following Trump with that kind of clarity, you're not going to give a crap about anything else. You're giving the billionaire your control, and you're giving all the billionaires your control, because Trump really isn't a billionaire, but he hangs out with them. They've gone ahead and talked to him, but they're giving the billionaire control. And if you don't believe me, ask Mark Cuban. He's been showing up lately and showing up strong, pointing out that this is absolutely a threat to democracy. Crypto offers the allure of financial freedom and innovation, but it also poses a grave threat: the concentration of power and wealth in the hands of a small elite group. These individuals seem more interested in building alternative realities or pursuing personal gain, and they could leverage unregulated crypto markets to destabilize the economy and consolidate their influence. At the heart of this issue is the growing divide between financial freedom and democratic governance. So if you heard even, oh my God, Vance last night tried this line about common sense wisdom. Like, Trump has common sense wisdom. And I'm like, God, never have so many words strung together not applied to Donald Trump ever. Common sense and wisdom, holy crap. But he was trying to say you want financial freedom. That's code, JD Vance. Financial freedom means you don't want to be regulated. Financial freedom. For Democrats, financial freedom means you can pay your bills and you can buy a house and you can have a kid because you can afford childcare. That's what financial freedom. It means Menards, not just 11%. Let's go, Menards. Let's go the full 12. You know, like that kind of thing, right? That's financial freedom to a Dem. But financial freedom to a wealthy white Christian national Republican is you don't get to see how I spend. The billionaires seem to be bored by traditional business. I feel like there's a boredom. I feel like boredom is a big part of this. I'm telling you, it's just like the kids are in the candy store and they're just running around, seeing what they can knock over, how much chaos they can make, because they're bored. These giant man babies are bored. They like their radical ideologies, and they like to evade taxes and influence elections and reshape society according to their vision. That's the most important part. So that the choice we have to make is clear, guys. It's really, really clear. Do we want to choose democracy, or do we want to let the overlords tell us what to do? Our system, a system in a democracy, should protect consumers, ensure transparency, and prevent billionaires from undermining the very institutions that sustain our free society. And by holding these actors accountable, we can stop the slide towards dystopia, where financial and political power is in just the hands of a few. Instead, we need to ensure that cryptocurrency fulfills its original promise of democratizing finance, not as a way for a few to escape accountability. The future of crypto can be a force for good, but only if we insist on transparency, fairness, and democratic values. If we don't, we're looking at turning our financial system, and by extension, our democracy, into an area where only the wealthiest can compete. So there's your scoop on crypto. It's dark. I don't like it. I also know a whole other bunch of stories from the dark website and the cryptocurrency. I mean, the cyber criminal side. Cyber criminals are so smart that they figured out how to turn cyber crime into different business models. I had to do a report for my old client. And I discussed the different business models that cyber criminals are using right now to steal and to do ransomware attacks and to go after people's IP, intellectual property. So I get really, really worried about this, because we've got big cyber crime and we've got cyber security issues right now with how we stand today, protecting our water, protecting our grid, protecting all kinds of resources that are vulnerable because we haven't upgraded it. So yeah, crypto makes me a little nervous. That's my point of view. I'm sure there are people out there who are fired up about it, but the fact that it can get nefarious, and the fact that two billionaires are the ones really pushing for this, and they've managed to pull Trump into it, is all a warning. It's all the red flags I need. That's all I need to know, that this is just not something we should be doing right now. It's just not going to help us at all right now. We need to focus on battening down the hatches and building the infrastructure and getting our country in shape so that as many of us as possible. Okay, that's it. I will be back with more. Thank you for listening. Be sure to rate, or give me a like, or give me a hate if you hate it. I don't care. Give me a rating. Go ahead and share with a friend if you think this information is useful. Thank you so much for paying attention.